Hi Wastelanders, this is Gary and I'm back for another video, and today's video is going to be, I haven't quite thought of the title yet, going to put out a challenge for stuff we do, but it's an open challenge to anybody that wants to participate. And I'll be curious if my board people will play along too, or anybody. So I haven't added any new members to the board yet, but I plan on it. I've sent some requests out. I'm getting a sticker from the Shredder reviews, the Shredder knife reviews. I believe that's what it's called. You probably already heard of it. It's a family channel. It's a father and son, and his mother shows up too, and the family dog. So I'll post a link to it in my description, because I haven't seen enough videos to accurately describe it, but it's a good channel. Shredder, if you're listening, you can participate in this challenge too. The challenge is going to be, what are your favorite in-hand fidgetable knives at this time that you do this video. For me, I'll show you my 3 favorite knives, but I set some criteria for myself. I try to use a main locking or main flipping feature only once. So I picked out 3 knives that are completely different, and I wanted to use different brands too, so it was hard. And I had some runner-ups, and I'll list the runner-ups that I disqualified because of one thing or another. So let's get on with it. Okay, well, let's start with the runner-ups. I have a glove on because later on I'm going to try to flip those knives open with a glove just to see if I can do it. But anyway, this was a runner-up because this is a fidget-friendly knife. Oh, my hands are in the way. I really like this flipping. And the other thing was, I didn't want to use a knife that wasn't drop friendly, or drop easy, droppy. What's the term for it? Drop shutty. So all these knives are drop shutty, but the only reason this didn't make the list is because it only has one opening feature, or only one opening method. So you can just use the flipper tab, because the knife disappears in the handle. You can't get it out. But it's real flickable. It has a great action, a great detent, and real drop shutty. So that's why that didn't make it. But it was a runner-up. This is the Matt DEN. I think it's called, yeah. I know his name is Matt DEN or DEN. I'm not sure how he pronounces it, but he visited my channel and he loved my unboxing video. And I love his knife, and I'm going to give it a review soon. All right, and this next knife, I hated to eliminate this next knife because this is the Hogue Deka, and I really love this knife, but I love another axis lock even more. So this was my second place for an axis lock knife, and it's great because you can flick it out using the axis lock, and you can thumb roll it out or flick it out. And I'm practicing on my Spidey flicking ability, because I can get my finger on the back of this stud, and this what I'm practicing on this thumb stud, so I haven't quite got it. But so it has three opening methods. So I mean, I would have picked it, but I just like another axis lock feature or knife better. So this could have been in the running. And you'll be surprised because I think most of you won't know what this knife is. It's a budget knife, and I love this knife. This is the Nemesis. It's the Nemesis Knives Holy Moly, and I think it's I forgot the name of the designer. I'll put it on the screen. But it's RH Design, but I forgot the name. But it's made by Nemesis Knives, and it's called the Holy Moly, and yeah, it's drop shetty, of course. So I almost picked it. And why I didn't pick it, it's kind of hard. I mean, this is the three knives that I did end up picking I like better, but it's just a fun knife to like fidget with and spidey flick out. Yeah, sometimes when I switch knives during the week, I've gotten used to a certain opening method, and within a few hours, if carrying a knife, I'll get used to it. So I haven't carried this knife in months. So, but when I was carrying it, I was 100% succeeding on the spidey flick. Yeah. It just takes a little practice. But and then thumb flicking it, I can do that, but I just prefer to spidey flick it. Anyway, it didn't make the list because it has two opening methods, but I always see it as one because I prefer the spidey flick it out. So third place goes to a knife with only one method to open it. Well, it's got two methods. You can spidey flick it or thumb flick it, but it's only truly one method. You have one method that has two options. And I really like this knife. I really like the Wee Banter. This, I don't know if I ever told you guys, but I detested thumb flicking. I came from a background where I was just two-handed opening knives, or if it had a flipper tab, I preferred a flipper tab. But since starting this channel, I really like thumb flicking, and I really like spidey flicking now. I mean, and I prefer a knife that has a hole that you can flick, or a thumb that has a good thumb hole, a thumb stud that is flickable. So I can spidey flick this too. Oh, I don't spidey flick it a lot, but I can. So, but I prefer just to whip it out and just thumb flick it out. This is got the greatest action for. It's kind of semi-budget because it only costs like I think $108, and it's always over the $100 mark, so it's kind of not budget. But for a Wee knife, I view it as a budget knife because Wee knives are always like well into the high hundreds. I think this is the only Wii knife I own. I usually don't go for Wii knives because of the price tag, but I really like this knife, and I don't really feel that I need to get a different version of this knife unless they really impress me with like a wood scales or something different design. I think this knife is perfect. So this is my third pick. A very fidgetable knife, very fidgetable. And this knife is my second, and you probably recognize it. It's the Honey Badger, and this is the custom Honey Badger. Well, I customized this. You can see it used to be like a tan or something, whatever those colors are, and I dyed it red, and then I sanded this to bring back this scales, or this hexagon, yeah. So, but you can see some blacks, and I used black dye too. So it's a mixture of red, black, and the original color of the scale. This got on my list because it has such a great action, and it's drop shutty, of course, but you can't beat a flipper tab other than another Honey Badger that flips this great. It's super. And yeah, you can have two other opening methods. Spotty flick it out, and you can, well, I'm not too good at thumb flicking on a hole for some weird reason, so I'll probably fail it. Okay, but I really like spotting flicking it out, or I like, personally, because it has a flipper tab, I gravitate to a flipper tab, but and then the second method, I would spotty flick it out. So the first method, I would just use this flipper tab, and then I would just spotty flick it out. I would probably not thumb flick it out because my thumb just doesn't mate with holes. If it had a thumb stud, it would be better. But this is my this is a Honey Badger, and it's in D2, and it's the medium size version. But any Honey Badger, I have a large size version and a small size version, as you can tell with my blue one I got recently, and they all flip nice, and they all flip 3 ways. So, but so this is why the Deka didn't make it, because I like this access lock, this Benchmade access lock, better than this, because I just like this knife better. I mean, the whole access lock is great. I just wanted to showcase one access lock. So let's see if this name is on here. Because I always screw up this thing. This is the 818 mini logo. I always screw up the number for some reason. I think I have used the number in the past of the large size logo. I think it's 808, but this is the 818 mini logo, so by Benchmade. And I know many people would probably be turned off by this handle shape, but I really love this handle shape. And this is why I love it, because I think this knife was made for fighting. So if you're going to go into a fighting stance, This knife fits very good in the curvature of your hand, your grip. And I like flick, I just like flipping this knife upside down, just with the spidey flicking and going into slash mode. I don't slash anything. I've slashed some boxes, and I slashed some tree bark, but I haven't slashed anybody, and I don't plan to. So this is my number one pick, is the most fidgetable knife. I like the axis lock. It has a really great action, and you can spidey flick it, and you can thumb flick it. But again, I suck at thumb flicking and hole. Okay, I got it. It's not that most snappy. Yeah. I can just thumb flick spidey flick all day. But thumb flicking, like I said, I get used to it, used to a knife as I carry it. In a few hours after carrying it, I would have no problem thumb flicking it. But that's my weakness. So these are my picks. This number one pick is the Benchmade 818 Mini Loco. Is the most fidgetable knife I own currently. The second most fidgetable knife I own is the Honey Badger. Any Honey Badger, but this is the Honey Badger I had on hand. And the third most fidgetable knife I really like is the Wee Banter. And I'm not kissing Blade HQ or Wee's ass. I just really like this knife. It's fun to open. It's the most fun thumb stud opening knife I have. As a bonus, I was going to try to thumb hole flick and everything with using a glove. So I've never used a glove. So let's see if I can do it. Yeah. Oh, I got it released, and let's try to spidey flick it with a glove. Sweet. So you know this is a great knife because you can use a glove. And Honey Badger, of course, any flipper tab you can probably use as a glove, use with a glove. So let's see if I can spidey flick it. I should be able to. So yeah. Okay. Takes some getting used to. Like, this knife is so goddamn easy. All right. I'm not going to even try to thumb flick it or thumb hole it. So this is I think this is perfect for gloved. This has a perfect lock for gloves. So this is I knew this would succeed with gloves. So I started to go for a frame or a liner lock. Sometimes I get confused. So I own the most knives I own are frame locks. So I forget sometimes I'm carrying an axis lock. Okay, well, this video's run long, and I don't want to keep you. I'll have to edit out a lot of stuff, but Benchmade 818 Mini Loco is my first choice. Honey Badger is my second choice, and the Wee Banter is my third choice as the most top 3 fidgetable knives I own currently. What are yours? Take care, Wastelanders. You're going to say, Gary, didn't you just get a CRKT Pilar 3 and you really love it? So I really love this knife, but the only reason it gets disqualified, I haven't had it long enough. So I've had all these other knives that you've already seen a lot longer than this knife. So, but this is fast becoming one of my favorite flickable knives, and probably carry, because I haven't carried it yet, but I plan to. I really don't like to give reviews until I carry a knife, or just say whether I like it or not. But this is a really great knife. You have to make sure your thumb or your finger's not on the frame lock. It's not that bad, but sometimes I press too hard and I'll notice that I'll screw up the thumb hole deployment. So I got used to like putting my finger on the screw and giving it a little oomph just in case I slip. But this knife is a perfect like thumb hole flicker. You know, this is what it's really meant for. But anyway, I think the PLR3 was on the table and I forgot to mention it. This is your bonus topic. Take care, Wastelanders.